fucking up there.
We're going live. We're going live.
All right.
Let me just confirm that the stream is running, and I don't know how stable the stream is. We just need to see what it looks like when it comes up.
All right.
Let me just confirm that the yeah. Sorry, how are you doing, everybody? Sorry, I'm just making sure that everything is stable. The stream is running. Everything looks okay. I'm just getting used to Google's, not Google's, YouTube's.
All right.
Back end for telling me about how stable the stream is. I'm not sure how reliable. Sorry, how are you doing, everybody? Sorry, I'm just making sure that everything how the stream is running.
So far, it's really smooth.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, we don't. That's what I've been waiting on, was the stream status going from bad to good, and it's still on bad. So we're just going to assume that YouTube talks a lot of bullshit when it comes to that. So that's fine.
Also, my audio is higher than yours.
Say that again, Matty.
My audio is higher than yours.
Oh, right, okay. Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah, let me just move this mic a bit as well. There's a lot of crap on the desk. All right, so we're back. We're back. Thank you, everybody, for being patient this evening. I have 3 incredibly cute but incredibly ill children. Runa and Nora were taken to hospital yesterday. With Nora, it was a bit more of a panic. Runa had a major temperature, like 41 degrees, which was crazy. So they got there, they got looked after, everything was fine. We've just to keep an eye on Nora, but everyone's great. And I just want to say, I think there was like 400 comments on the YouTube post about this, and it was all just nothing but love and support. Big thank you to my Discord community for all their support. I want to show you something quite funny. When Runa was in the hospital, there's obviously a place that the kids can colour in and do kid stuff. And of all the things that she could have coloured in, the princesses, the Disney book, for Nora, thank you, Stealth herself. Of all the things my little 3-year-old girl could have drawn, she picked this herself, coloured it in, and then proceeded to run round the hospital saying, I'm daddy, holding it up to her face. And this was her artwork. So, couldn't be more proud. I couldn't be more proud. Just amazing. So, yeah. There's a little bit for everybody from the chaos of last night. So what we're doing this evening is we're just plugging along with the Tennessee side. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to wrap this shit the fuck up. All right? I'm not going to, if we can't get these interviews and things done in the time scale that we can do this show, everyone who has a key story to tell but couldn't make it, I understand, don't get me wrong, like time zones and work and all this stuff is hard. I will do interview slots for the videos that I'm going to do, all right? So there is options for people and all the rest of it. So I'm just saying that because we're wrapping this up. Like, we need to get to San Diego and we need to get those stories told. So I'm just being honest with everybody. I don't want this to feel like we're just hopping along here. So this evening, I know we've got a couple of guests that we've got to wait on finishing work in America. I know Josh is going to come on, and there's a couple of people that are going to speak if they're with Josh. Now, I have set up a sort of chopped together version of the old software mixed in with the new software, because
I actually really like this, to be honest.
Yeah, StreamYard is much lighter to use than Skype. It's just you click a link and you're here, okay? To be perfectly honest with you, I would exclusively use StreamYard if they would allow a URL overlay function in the back end. If I could drop that overlay where people got the tip alerts and stuff like that, I would just use StreamYard. It's just so much easier. So if you want to get into streaming, there's a link down in the description. You get 10 free bucks if you want to give StreamYard a little try. So yeah, all right. So we're just going to get on with this once Josh has arrived. But I thought until then, we'll have a little chitty chatty with everybody. Now, I don't know if you guys seen this today. This was taken off of Wolf Oh, shit. Hang on a second. From Wolfstar, one of the previous guests, he put up a video on his YouTube today where Russ Mckamey had made a post about he is now ending Mckamey Manor. He's working on a new project that is achievable, so it's not an impossible haunt. He said that his previous haunt, nobody was ever going to be able to do it anyway. He says that the $20,000 is gone. He says it's going to be achievable and less extreme. So the communities that have been pushing and pushing for this for years, the people that set up the petition, and all those affected by this is massive win, right? This is a massive win for you guys. This is like, you guys have ended Mckamey Manor, effectively. I mean, it might come back as Russ's scary doodle, experience, but Mckamey Manor's gone. I'm almost confident in saying that you guys have done it. Like, you guys have done it. Or maybe he's under advice by his lawyers. Who the fuck knows? But it sounds a lot in this video like Russ Mckamey is done with the manor. Holy fucking shit. I'm going to have to slow that chat down. I can't see nothing. Right, I'm slowing the chat down because it's just going fucking haywire. I literally can't see anything, so just bear with me a second. Oh, yeah, it's because you hadn't enabled the fucking slow chat. So that should slow things down from now-ish. Please slow down. Please slow down. Slow mode is on. There we go. All right, as well, one thing I'm going to be launching with the members for every live stream is sort of like the last sort of 10 or 15 minutes of the stream. We're going to do a Q&A where we'll turn on members mode, and if any of the members have got anything they want to say to people, he's always going to call it Mckamey. See, that I think he would be crazy to not have Mckamey in it somewhere. I think if he's going to rebrand, he would need to go like Mckamey Haunt or Mckamey Scare Experience or something. But who knows?
Mckamey Manor Terror Experience, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Or I don't know if he could even have Mckamey Manor Terror Experience. I think he could have Mckamey Terror Experience. I think that Google hit, there's going to be too much shit connected with the manor name. But who the fuck knows? I mean, maybe that's exactly what he wants. Maybe this is all in his plan. Do you know what I mean? Oh, where are you? There you are. So, do you guys want to listen to part of this? Do you guys want to listen to this? Russ is a butthole. Well, what was that? I'm missing it. Daddy 1208. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. I feel like I'm being blown out by this light again. Yeah, that's maybe a bit better. Okay, so
People are saying yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
I'll let some of this play. Again, this was from Wolfstar's video. Let me just make it bigger here. I'm sure there's other people that have got this out. This was the first one that came to me, so here we are. So pop him there. Old Rusty. Melissa, thank you. Welcome. So this is it's only about 3 or 4 minutes, Russ's whole bit. So let's just listen to Russ. I will put a link to Wolf's whole video as well. Raven, welcome.
Hey, come on in, come in. Talk a little bit here. Yours truly, the scary guy. Come on in. Let's give a little bit of an update here. Give you guys a couple of minutes. Let's get some folks in here. The first one, all right. Looking for my glasses. What's up, Brian? Amanda, come on in. Let's give a few folks a chance to get on in here and play catch up.
Fuck it hell. Right, we can skip the fucking...
We'll talk about a few... Everything's going good. I haven't had any sleep at all for the last couple of days, so I am...
Fucking bet you haven't, mate.
I'm running on Zippo. We'll see if I can get through this. Got all the pooches around, so life is good. Come on in. All right. Well, it looks like there's only a few of us here, but that's fine. All right, just quick update. I'm alive and well, as you can tell. No issues. Everything's good to go. Taking a little bit of a break on the manor right now, just for a bit. We are designing a new show. Something that will be a beatable show. In case you missed the last live feed I did, talked about a new premise. And the new premise will be, it'll be an experience. We're taking the money off the table. We're taking the 20 grand off the table because that was ridiculous.
Because it was never actually on the table. Right? That's how easy it was for him. Oh, shit, I wonder if, should we take that 20 grand off the table? Yeah. It was never there.
I was going to say, what table?
Yeah, thank you.
Nobody is going to beat Desolation. No way, no how. So this next show that we're going to be doing is going to be, again, an experience. This is something that will enable you to actually succeed. All right? So
big shout out to Daddy
that's
Putin.
why it's
Big
not
shout out to
going
Daddy
to
Putin.
really be like Desolation or Resurrection or the Chamber or the Old Manor or Extinction. This is going to be something that is beatable. Lips are dry. And so it's going to be different. But it's going to take some time to get it designed, written, and get this thing produced a little bit, but hopefully not too terribly long. And it kind of works okay right now because the weather is actually a non-player right now. You know, the weather is 18 degrees, 20 degrees.
Oh my God, it feels so
We
much
can't do
longer
that.
than 3 minutes. Like,
Steven said, are you going to be going back to the more haunt type of San Diego? Yeah, maybe. But it's going to be something that, again, is not going to be unrealistic. It's something that you will complete it. But it's not going to be a standard boo walkthrough either. You know, there's too many of those out there, right? Said, hey, furry babies. Yeah, they're all out here. They're all right here. But yeah, it's weather-wise, it's not realistic to be doing the show right now anyways. So it's a good time for us to take a break, reinvent, get something new up there, because we like to do that every now and again. So no more Desolation. It'll be a completely new type of show. Okay? Yeah, okay. You're pretty cute. You're pretty cute. There's a little white dog right here.
there's a little white dog right here. Like, who is that disconnected from their pets that they just call it little white dog? But hey, I feel it. Like, we've only got a couple of minutes of this left, but just start popping out your opinions on this. Do you think this is just a way to start dodging all the stuff that's coming out about the manor? Do you think oh shit, little white dog, he's a wizard. Like, what do you guys think? He got lawyered. Oh yes. Shit, I wonder, can we... I'll check this after. Let's just see how many other...
So I just want to
pets
give you
we've done
guys a
that we're
heads
gonna
up. Let you know everything's fine. I hear the page is going good. I had a little vacation, which was fun. And I'm getting the dog handled here. This little dog thinks he's a little lap dog, but he's not. A little lap dog. Oh. He's bigger than that. But
I have a German Shepherd that thinks the same thing.
He's a little puppy. He's a puppy, but you know how that goes, right? He's crawling up my lap right here. That's why he's sitting up here. Yeah, I know. I know. So I was going to let you guys know everything is fine. Everything is good. And looking forward to the next show. Be patient. Oh. Okay, come on, guys. Come on. This is the hard part. Grayson. Alright, I'm gonna go, guys, because I'm getting demolished by a lot right here.
Oh, man. Fucking love dogs, man. I love them. Right, so, what are we thinking? What are you thinking? Compromising cat. We got the kids' shoes, and here's starting for their boots fund! Yes. Do you know what it is? Actually, the next fund... well, it's not really a fund. The next thing that I need to go and get them is a whole bunch of new fucking like hats and shit. They've all got them, but yeah, that'll be going on there. They're going to be. It's so fucking cold. Like Scotland is spicy. Josh, you are here. This guy's a head kid. Andy Fry, I'm glad. I thought maybe you were talking about me, but no, you're talking about Russ. What is happening? So I think a lot of the people in the side chat there, Josh, after they've seen that video. Oh, Chris is there as well. Excellent. Let me just pop Chris in as well. So a lot of people in the side chat were sort of saying that they feel like Russ has been pressured into this change, this whole giving up on the manor and rebranding and being less intense. Do you think this is a legal flex? Do you think this is a Matrix body dive to bypass all the bullshit of the manor right now, to regroup, gather his thoughts, effectively look at the shiny in the new project that doesn't exist while things are going on in the background? Do you know what I mean? What do you think about that? What do you think, Josh?
Well, first of all, it was nice to see him in not the same clothes he wears all week. But I think that it's kind of like a common theme. Like, if you look at it when in San Diego, which is chronologically like the first step,
yep.
He's beating the shit out of people. And then, he relocates, he dumbs down the haunt to almost a childish level. And then, or makes it seem like childish type shit. And that was after he started catching heat on the internet. And then that died down. And then the next wave came up. He dumbed it down a little better with the Daniela tours that Dan came up with and all this and that. And then he caught shit for that. And now this whole thing's blew up. And now he's saying that, it's no longer a haunt, it's an experience. So I think he's just further and further getting into a corner. I definitely think he's scared. But if it's a legal thing, I wouldn't fucking know about it. But I honestly think the guy's just been bullied into a corner. I hate to put it that way, but I mean, he's been absolutely obliterated, and it refuses to defend itself. I don't know what else it could
Someone's saying there that he totally pushed out, basically, shit himself. I mean, are you saying this is a repeating pattern? Are you saying it goes extreme haunt, extreme haunt, tame haunt? Not necessarily all the time, but do you think that is a defensive pattern that Russ uses?
Oh yeah, for sure. Every time he starts getting negative attention of like a sizable number or whatever the fuck, he always does some shit like this. Oh, we're changing it up. We're gonna switch it up. We're gonna go down for a little while. And we're gonna come back, and it's gonna be beatable. Like literally, that is word for word what he said about Desolation, which was I think the last one before this Nanner Hole or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't know, but yeah, he was supposed to say it was supposed to be something beatable. It's always easier and easier. So I don't expect anything different. Except something like a front yard K to Silvis ripoff is honestly what I'm expecting.
Okay. And we just had somebody say there that they're quite surprised seeing Russ so calm. Even amongst all of the backlash and all the stuff that's been going on. Do you think that's just him used to it by now? Is this just part of the ritual for him?
I mean, I guess you yourself could kind of put yourself in this situation, like, dealing with internet trolls and all this bullshit when he's been doing it for these years and years and years. And, if he's really this mentally fucked up, as everybody likes to say, I think it's completely plausible that he could act completely normal in a situation like that.
I think so too. and neither of us are saying that's what it is. Just to be clear, it's just interesting.
Allegedly.
It's just really interesting for me because, like I say, for me, the main heavy hitters of information in this are Lindsay, Holly, and Carol, being that they are the only ones who didn't sign a waiver to be in Russ's life. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Do you know
definitely.
what I mean? So it's interesting when you hear about how Russ is in the start of his relationships compared to how it progresses. And it's almost like that with his haunts, where he's got this, he goes extreme and takes it too far, and then starts again in this honeymoon period where he projects a kinder, calmer Russ. Do you think that's, do you agree with that at all?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really take a smart person to put this shit, like when you hear it all the way that you've heard it, it doesn't really take that smart of a person to put this shit together, you know? Like it's pretty like laid out there, honestly. It's I mean the if you've been following it for a while, I mean
Yeah.
you see
You you
the
you talk
patterns and
you
the
talk
waves.
you talk way too candidly about how easy this is to follow. This is fucking like somebody just emptying a 15,000 piece jigsaw puzzle on the table and going, "Here you go," and it's like,
Yeah, but Ron, we did the fucking work for you last year
yeah,
and the
oh,
years before
it's
San Diego, so
it's
we just
still.
unloaded it on you.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. That's the jigsaw. That's the jigsaw that you're unloading on me, and it's great. And I'm glad, and I'm really honored to be doing it all. But it's just like, wow. You feel like every time you find a piece, you've overlooked 5 other pieces. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? And it's just trying to get everybody a time to say their piece. Do you know what I mean?
And I think the San Diego part of this series is going to be like a big puzzle fitter for all of us because a lot of us that's been doing this shit for years before me and myself, you know, we haven't had a lot of contact with some of the people coming up on this show, and so it's going to give us a lot of stuff to put together of how all this shit really went down and what the fuck is actually going on. So I personally myself am pretty hyped to see what you got coming up, even though I guess I kind of Oh yeah. So I guess some of you guys that have been following for a little bit maybe have heard Holly talk about Chris Elliott. Chris Elliott is a personal friend of mine, actually, from here where I live. I brought him into the Mckamey Manor group. He got in there pretty good, so I'll just kind of let him tell his story. But me and him came in. I brought him in, and we exited at the same time. And the reason for our exits were basically tied together. So
Ron, just give me a second. We want to make sure your mic's good. I just got a
Yeah,
message
no,
that nobody can hear you.
yeah. It was turned off. It was turned off. It's just that's how good I am at my job. Okay, so yeah, Chris, thank you very much for coming on and joining us, and we'll just do the same with you as we've done with everyone. Just assume no one knows who you are. None of us have heard of Mckamey Manor. Introduce yourself and just tell us how you fit into this whole saga.
Hey Ron, it's nice to meet you, man. I've been watching a lot of your videos.
Thanks, brother.
So yeah, it's quite a lot to put together, but I was with Josh back in the very first Truthers page. Back when it first started, I was actually friends with him before Truthers started last year, and I was a contestant, and I was supposed to be there March 3rd of last year, and I ended up having a very, very long conversation with Dan Truelove on the phone. He called me and basically just told me what really happens and what really goes on. And he went into great, great detail with it. And after that, I ended up digging deeper into it because of some of the things that he said. And the more people that I talked to, like Becky and Greg and Trent McConnell, all them. So uh, when he would do the lives on Facebook every Saturday, me and Trent were timekeepers, and I think Josh was a timekeeper too for each stunt and all that. So um, that I was a part of that. Um, so yeah, that was in the Tennessee days, though. That that was not obviously in San Diego.
Don't worry, we're focusing on Tennessee stories right now because for me, and I'll tell you why I'm wanting to do this, because it would be very easy once we spoke to Lindsay and we were focusing a lot on the mental health side of Russ Mckamey. It would be very easy to end the series there, but I felt ending it on a note like that didn't really do justice to the realities, regardless of reason. Okay, Russ Mckamey and the actors have done some things that they need to answer for, and I think ending on San Diego shows the majority of the things that need to be answered for. So that's why we've done it sort of out of sync, if that makes sense, because I think I think if we look at the timeline of Russ Mckamey and everything that's gone on, I think that's a more realistic note to end on than focusing entirely on the mental health side, because Russ Mckamey's had multiple opportunities to get help and all the rest of it. So it's one of those. It's so complicated, Chris. And I mean, when it comes to mental health, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, I have no training in any of this. I'm pulling everything out my ass. So don't anyone take my words with too much weight out there, because when it comes to mental health, I'm sure we've all had our moments and danced with our own issues. Like I have for sure. I can comment on my own experiences, but I wouldn't be able to relate to Russ. But tell us, have you got anything that you wanna focus on with regards to the Tennessee haunt, Chris?
Well, when sorry, chat's going. When I was there, I had several long conversations with Russ on the phone, and he was hyping it up, saying that I had the perfect attitude. When I was in the MM group, I did several long lives in there with Russ, and he just the way that he talks to you like you're stupid. Um, I kind of have. I'll be honest with you. I kind of have a lot of the same things that a lot of people have said, because he'd be honest. He really treats mostly everybody the same way. I
Okay.
think that he degrades you, but there are certain few people that I feel like that he like the tours, he would do better with some people just to have a good name, and then others he wouldn't release all of it. Like I saw some of Taryn's stuff last night that I had never seen before, and I feel like he treats others worse sometimes.
Yeah, do you feel like there's
But
definitely a circle and an inner circle for Russ?
oh yeah, most definitely, most
Okay.
definitely. Um,
And have you ever witnessed somebody being mistreated and work their way through the ranks, so to say, and then not be mistreated anymore? Or do you think you're either one or the other? You're on one of Russ's lists and you stay there?
yeah, well, he's just so scatterbrained. It's like he can't keep up with all the things that he says to people, and he constantly forgets everything. So I don't know. There are those certain few that he likes to focus on, like in the recent hate movies that he's made on his YouTube page. He mentioned Josh, Dan. He said my name. He said Trent's name. But that was when Truthers first started, so I think that's why he put all our names in that. And that's another thing I don't understand why he says haters, because yeah, there are people that hate it, but there a lot of us we just learned what really goes on and how he really is, and just did not want to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, there's a lot of people went through a lot of craziness, and again, there was a few videos that have come out recently touching on the fact that the media focuses on the old footage and is still fueling the fire of the myths and legends of Mckamey Manor. So having, you know, no, having this sort of inner sight, especially with Taron and yourself, where there is this visual divide between people that he will shit on and people that he won't, and I think there's so many things that are fascinating after speaking to Lindsay and Holly and Carol, where there's just this mirror of the two sides of Russ that comes out depending on where you fit into his world. And I don't know how he chooses
Oh yeah,
his. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's just
it's
like,
very confusing.
yeah. I want to know the process that he goes through mentally to put a name on either side, but I I just feel with Carol and Holly, they were on one list, and then over time became the ultimate victims as well as Lindsay. And is it just a matter of time for everyone? Do you think? Do you think?
You know what? I'm glad you said that because Terrence seems like a really cool guy. And I know that Lindsay got on there and talked to him the last show, and she was not lying when she said that it's a matter of time for everybody. There is a reason why there are so many waves of people that come through, not just tours, but people that get to know Russ. They don't last long at all. Like sometimes I think Dan was one of the guys that stayed in with him the longest. Uh, yeah, there's a reason why he has no family. I mean, around. No one's close to him. There's a reason for that. Um, like I said, I spoke with him numerous times over the phone personally. He it's almost like he has this character called Russ Mckamey. Obviously, he's just got this character that he plays off of when he's on camera, but when he's not, he's just a completely different person.
Yeah,
I guess as far as
touch
being a
on that more.
narcissist,
Yeah, touch on that more. Like, is it a straight switch from when he goes offline? You know, if he's doing a video and he's one person and that goes offline, is it a straight switch, or is there a catalyst or something that has to happen in order to trigger Russ, or is it just as soon as the camera goes off or the haunt ends or whatever, it's a switch?
well, Trent can tell you more about that too because he was actually in person with him numerous times off camera, so he saw it as well. But I wouldn't say it's a switch, but it's kind of like he fades in and out of both, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I even commented that when I seen Anthony and his haunt, and how when you watch Anthony in a video, he's in character. Do you know what I mean? And then when you interview him, he's a businessman. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's comforting to see the not lost in your own fantasy factor of that. Do you know what I mean? Whereas that was one thing I said about Russ. With Russ, it just seems to be this constant portrayal of character. There's nothing reassuring at all, for me anyway, you know, that I've ever seen about Russ. And maybe that's just his thing. You know, maybe that's just that's his marketing, that's his PR, that's his thing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, I've never witnessed it. So, but it's not necessarily a bad thing for the market that he's trying to push. It's just, for me, it's unsettling to not see that disconnection between the fantasy and the business. So, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, carry on.
In his movies, like Christina Buster was one of the people that I loved her movie. I watched it several times over and over and over because it was the most. Oh, I don't know if it was the most brutal, but on his old YouTube page, it was one. It was like the worst. And I feel like sometimes his true character kind of comes out when you get into the darker stuff, into the movies, like the way that he acts and his facial expressions, you can tell that the guy's just getting off on the shit. I mean, you can definitely tell.
There's definitely something going on. There's definitely something. Oh, Fiona's joined us down there as well. Just hi, Fiona. We will introduce you just in a moment or two. And yeah, so like I say, it's difficult coming into it the way that I have. Josh was right in saying all the information's there, but trying to paste it all together, and like I say, it's difficult. So when people like yourself can come on and just back up what other people have said, it just makes the whole thing more creditable in my eyes, because I definitely believe that there's a switch in Russ. I think Holly witnessed it, Lindsay witnessed it, Carol witnessed it. I think countless contestants have witnessed it. When a lot of people say that he's getting off on it or something like that, I think in the mind of Russ McKinney, it's so much more complicated than just simply getting off on it. Do you know what I mean?
I agree. I definitely agree.
Like I almost believe that if he could have a situation like San Diego where he could have, let's just say yourself, we'll just use you as an example, like you want to do the Manor, gets a hold of you, 2 or 3 weeks of mind conditioning and live streams and making you do crazy bullshit before anything happens. So that's him hands off controlling you, right? Then get you to the Manor and order humans to do his bidding, right? Again, hands off. And then push you to these limits where he gets all the credit and does nothing. Like, to me, that is the peak in what I think is Russ McKinney's thing, if that makes sense. Everyone under his control, doing his bidding, and then them all thanking him for it. That is genuinely what I think is his thing, if that makes sense. And what the fuck that is, I have no fucking clue. And yeah, so I mean, do you have anything else you want to sort of elaborate on what you think goes on in the mind of Russ McKinney? Because like, we've had a lot of people throwing around fetishes, we've had a lot of people throwing around cults, we've had a lot of people talking about mental health. There's just so much. There's so much of it. And
there is. I mean, it makes my fucking head hurt thinking about all this shit.
One thing though that we can give 100% credibility to though is Russ McKinney's mental health, 100%, and that.
Oh yeah.
Even if we just forget everyone else we've talked to, right, and we remove Mckamey Manor and we just look at Lindsay's first interview. Right? If that's the only thing people watch, I think that is going to be the truest insight into actual what could be a massively ongoing mental health problem with Russ McKinney, from childhood trauma that he went through himself, with how Lindsay said she viewed his perspective on kids compared to how eyewitnesses view his perspective around kids and things like this. And I'm not pulling us back to the kid topic, just to be totally clear. It's just interesting when you hear the public, you hear the ex-girlfriends, and then you hear the blood relative daughter who is still to this day suffering from her interactions with her own father. And to me, that is beyond anyone else's story on Mckamey Manor. Everyone else is a consenting adult that signed a 40-page waiver. You know, even Carol and Holly, as grown-up adults, got into a grown-up relationship. Lindsay didn't sign a fucking waiver, didn't ask for this to be her dad. Same with Russell. Sorry, Russell, if you ever watch these. I wasn't leaving you out there. But that's the thing that really gets to me. Because it's one thing being a malicious fucking bastard when it comes to the public or your staff or whatever. But when we're talking about a little girl being traumatized in a haunt designed for adults, that's the real thing people should be focusing their attention on. Right. I'm not taking anyone's trauma away from them. I just want to say that when I generalize saying compared to a little girl and these adults have all signed a 40-page waiver, you have, and there's a big difference between Lindsay's story and everyone else's, and there's a big difference between Carol and Holly's story and everyone else's. Do you see what I mean? It's like Russ McKinney is a pin, and then the first string we come out to Lindsay, and then it's Holly and Carol, and then it's friends and staff, and then it's out to contestants, and by the time you go out the way, it's like the web's like this. It goes from Lindsay and goes just out in a pyramid shape. Trust me. I've done the visuals, okay? I've drawn this shit. It's crazy. So yeah, but is there anything else you want to throw at us from Tennessee, Chris?
I didn't know if you had seen that live that Russ did one night, but it's in the New Truthers group, and Russ got on there and had Holly on it as well. Well, he breaks down into tears. He can't hardly speak it through some of it, but he tells everyone publicly that he was abused as a child, that he had been actually.
Don't worry about going into anything to do with Russ's past. For us, it's not. Russ has a survivor story of his own, okay,
Right.
and that's Russ's story to tell. So we'll just
Right.
just move on from that side. Everything else is on the table, but that topic, just so you know. I mean, we all know that there is that in his past. We're not going to elaborate on anything, but yeah, absolutely. Carry on with what you were saying, Chris.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had seen that or not. But yeah, I have everything to thank to Dan Truelove. Really, I mean, me and him got very tight when the first went down and my tour was scheduled and all that. Because to be honest with you, if it wasn't for Dan telling me as much as he did, and I guess I'll let him elaborate on that. But I probably would have gone through with that. And Russ likes to say that a lot of people just get cold feet. That's not at all what happens a lot of the time. A lot of the times they truly do want to go, but they just find out so much shady shit that
Yeah.
goes on, man, and it's overwhelming. It made me think a lot, and I just didn't want, if I'm gonna drive that far, spend that much money to get there, I just did not want to even fuck with that.
Yeah.
That's uh,
I think the interesting
and
thing for me and Dan with Dan's story is just how long Dan was a fan of the Haunt and Russ throughout his life. I mean, he was a teenager and getting excited about it, and it has to be one of the greatest anticlimax stories in the history of anticlimax stories for anyone. Dan Truelove's Haunt experience, like, it really has. I mean, he must have just been like, "Fuck." Do you know what I mean? I mean, can you imagine building something up in your head for that long? Do you know what I mean? Building something up in your head for that long.
yeah, and he helped. He was Russ's right hand man for a while. I mean, he
Yeah.
set up a lot of tours. I mean, he had a fucking tour named after him.
Yeah.
They had a Daniela tour. I mean, you know that, and I think he just feels like he got shitted on because that's just how Russ is. You get close to him and he shits on you. Does not give a fuck about you. It's all about him and him only. It's there to feed his ego. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy how common a tale it is. But what I'm going to do just now, I'm going to cut back. I'm going to ask Josh, are you still there?
Yeah,
How are you doing?
somewhere.
You're there. Have you got anything you want to add on anything that Chris was talking about there? Or is there anything else you want to touch on with Tennessee before we introduce Fiona?
I just want to, I guess, kind of like elaborate on what you went on. I think that the order that you took this whole series so far, like putting Tennessee kind of in the middle, I think that was kind of the best choice. I know that Tennessee's kind of been more like, here, say this and all this, because his family's not from Tennessee, and all the crazy shit happened in San Diego. So, but there are stories to tell in Tennessee, and it kind of shows how I think it kind of shows more how his mind works, because it literally seems like he changed locations just to cover his own ass from his whatever the fuck it was he was doing in San Diego.
Yeah.
Maybe he caught a little hot water for it, and he's trying to relocate, I don't know, redo everything so that people were like, oh, it was just a big misunderstanding. But I think once we get into San Diego, people are really going to understand that this guy is a fucked up individual. Yeah, he's got mental issues, and yeah, you almost want to feel sorry for the guy, but once you hear and see some of the shit that's happened to these people, it's going to make you fucking sick to your stomach.
Yeah, I completely agree, and that, to be honest with you, that's why I'm kind of glad we got to this stage of doing it in phases. I'm glad the first week went the way that it did, and it sort of played out in chunks, and we can control it that way. But Fiona, it has been multiple days. You are the mythological lady, and I'm so glad that we finally touched base, because the DMs have been hilarious. I take my hat off to you both. You guys are awesome, and I'm really glad that you got into our live, and we're going to get to hear what it's like from your perspective. So once again, as always, Fiona, pretend we don't know who you are, and how do you fit into the Mckamey Manor saga?
All righty. Well, it's Shrek and I. He'll be popping in from time to time. He just got in from work. We live local. We live within 15, 20-minute drive to Psychos. I mean, Russ, you know. And we had heard about him on the news, didn't pay a lot of attention, but I just, on Facebook one day, just kind of stumbled across one of his live feeds. And it was when he had the dog, the Great Pyrenees, that he ended up putting down. That caught my attention because we used to raise them. We used to breed them. So that kind of sparked a conversation between he and I and Holly. And it just kind of went from there. We didn't want to do the tour, never signed up to do the tour.
Yeah.
We were just more on, a friendship level.
Like a normal, oh, howdy neighbor. You breed dogs. Yeah. We like dogs. We're people. Yeah. Let's interact. This is going to be interesting. You're the first. Just, I feel like if this was a documentary series, that would be like, you know, here we are with Fiona, and she meets Russ in the wild, unknowing of who he is. Do you know what I mean? So it's an interesting perspective. Yeah. So keep telling us. Keep telling us.
Yeah, so we just kind of befriended him, you know, and we started watching his Saturday shows and became just kind of like everybody else, intrigued. Like I said, we didn't want to do the show because, you know, I might be dumb, but I ain't stupid. Okay, I don't, you know, never wanted to do it. Strictly, we were, you know, just spectators. So after we had talked to him for a while, we ended up going for his Taco Tuesdays, as I'm sure some of you remember. We would meet him and have dinner with him. And we ended up going down there. Greg made props for him. Well, Greg, whoever, you know.
I swear to God.
He made a prop that he probably still uses to this day.
Like,
so
your relationship with Russ is completely friend based. Like we talked a couple of weeks ago about no one's come forward who said, you know, I played Russ with poker on a Thursday with Russ. You're that person.
Yeah. Us and
Taco
Trent.
Tuesdays. Like, because
Trent never took a tour, but it was like our Saturday afternoons. Everybody would get done in the mornings with what they had to do, and we would all meet at Russ's place on Saturday afternoon for the tour. And I mean, it would end up with cookouts, and Trent had his kids running around down there, you know, because of course Russ was, hey, bring the kids out. This is all a family type, you know, family environment.
And
little did we know,
but was it
that he's a sicko?
But was it, when you were there, was there any Russ Mckamey mannerisms of the manor? I mean, did you feel like you were watching the man on the video, or did you feel like it was just a normal guy, nothing to question? Sure, his business seems a bit wild, but normal guy. Or was it like,
Well, to me, he's a different person on camera than he is off camera. Okay. That's for sure.
Okay.
He can turn that personality on and off like a switch. And with the friendship, it was almost like he was very needy almost as a friend, you know, because at the time he had a dog that was pregnant. I think it was Baby. I think some people might remember. He would message us all hours of the night, asking about this dog that was about to have puppies. Needed us to come down and help him take the dogs to the vet because they were going to die. I mean, that was the kind of, you know, can you bring food down here? I'm afraid to leave the dogs alone. So, I mean, we thought that he was, at one point, we thought he was a decent guy. Enough to where we invited him for Thanksgiving. And he ended up actually eating Thanksgiving last year with Trent and his family.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's
So,
definitely...
and it was after that that everything kind of fell to shit, though. I mean, well, and this, put it this way, we felt bad enough for the man that we gave him a bed.
Oh.
We went in his house and there was nothing as far as furniture in that house. The only thing that was in the house was a cage, a dog cage that would fit inside of like a bedroom. And that's where he would actually take contestants sometimes. But we felt sorry for him because he was sleeping on the floor with all of his dogs. So we gave him a bed and thought we were doing the right thing. And within a month, he was talking shit about us. He was harassing us, well, having people harass us, harass our business. He's just a dickhead.
And was there a trigger to make him turn on you?
Well, no, we found it was when he actually turned on Trent. Okay. And I think Trent kind of hit on his story and what kind of threw them off.
Yeah.
Well, when Trent told us what happened with them, it pissed me off because I'm like, what kind of person, you're over here dragging people behind your truck and you're going to judge this man who is raising his children on his own for some shit that happened to his ex-wife before he ever knew her. So we kind of backed off a little bit. And when we backed off, he sicked his dogs, Thomas Holmes being the main one. That was how we got the name Shrek and Fiona. He said that we looked like a couple of ogres like Shrek and Fiona. And I said, well, little did he know we would take that and embrace it. So that's the meaning of the Fiona and Shrek.
Yeah, well, it takes a pretty sad person to say bullshit like that. It just shows you the integrity of some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
I really,
and all the time, his stank ass is sleeping on the bed we gave him.
Yeah, I really need to go back to Taco Tuesdays. I'm really sorry, right? So, Ross McKinney, Taco Tuesdays, like,
yep.
When we hear about what I'm now starting to see is the many faces of Ross McKinney, right? There seems to be a honeymoon period where with Carol and Holly, right, there was this honeymoon in the relationship. They both said about a year, I think, right? And there seems to be this ticking time bomb of a relationship with everyone. There seems to be a switch that goes or something happens and he turns on you. And I just, it's everybody. It's everybody.
Oh, yeah. And yeah, and I mean, we never did anything bad to the man. We kind of backed off when he fucked Trent over because, like I said, if he's going to do that to Trent, I knew he would do it to us, And that's when, like I said, we started getting harassed. We started getting phone calls. And we own our own business here in town, a little local town here. And, you got people online that put bad reviews out there about your business, and it goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, like, how long did that last for? Like that reign of terror, if you will?
It was for a couple of months after, because it all started about this time last year. Well, the day Thanksgiving is when all the shit started rolling downhill here. Because like I said, he had Thanksgiving with Trent, and it was after that from there on out, it was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Child Protective Services got called. It was ugly.
Ugly, yeah. And that's nasty. That's playing nasty for sure.
Oh yeah.
And what was the extent of the harassment? Did anybody ever come to your property, or was it all just digital?
Well, nobody ever came. It was a lot of phone calls and a lot of online. The keyboard warriors. Yeah. And there was once that Mr. Pokemon, there's a lot of people that remember Mr. Pokemon. He had said, because he lived local, that he was going to make sure we were taken care of. And I said, okay, come take care of us. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all a bunch of talk, and of course Russ never did it. He just sicked his little minions on us.
That's usually, that to me is the interesting pattern. I think Russ has something with regards to the minion factor, the control of
Yeah.
other people factor. There's definitely something in. I've not quite figured it out yet, but there's something in that.
Yeah.
realm.
And see, he knows too. We, like I said, we didn't sign up for the tour, so we didn't sign his little contract.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely. Yeah, you're not bound.
and
by
we
any
were good
NDAs.
enough friends with him where he went to Texas. I think we lost.
Yeah,
While we were in, while he was in Texas, we didn't. Are you there?
Yeah, we're still here. You broke up a little bit, so just start
Okay.
off just where you were again. Don't worry, you're stable again.
Gotcha. He told us about a trip he was taking to Texas to visit Holly, and little did we know that he was actually going there to stalk her. But we didn't know it at the time because we were friends. But we dog sat for him and kept the dogs, and well, we didn't keep them. We went over there and fed them. So we were able to see everything that's there, or should I say everything that's not there.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah.
that's a better way of putting it, I think, because certainly from what we've all seen from aerial pictures and Google Maps and things like this, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, it looks like a construction site.
There's nothing there.
There's like literally 3
Mhm.
shipping containers and what
There's
looks like
nothing.
a chessboard cut into the ground.
Hmm.
It's
And see, some of the tours that he did over this past summer, he was doing at a city park. That
wow.
I don't know if he was blindfolding them because I'm blocked from the page, but I had seen clips here and there. He was taking them to a city park, and because I guess I don't know, he didn't have anything at his house to do, so
Yeah.
he had to take them somewhere. Mhm.
Yeah, well, we often say, like, if Ross McKamey lost everything and ended up in the woods, he'd do his haunt out of a tent. So it just seems
Oh, he
like
could, yeah,
Ross
because what he
McKamey,
lives in a shithole now. So
it's crazy.
mhm, we
crazy.
felt sorry for him. We were in the process of helping the man furnish his place because I'm from here. You know, I know people that would have donated. We felt bad for him. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that we saw his true colors before we helped him any more than we did.
It's crazy. It's just amazing to have insight into the normal side of Russ, normal encounters, Taco Tuesday, dog sitting, helping out a fellow neighbour. Thank you very much, Susan, and thank you very much, Cap, as well, for both those. It's just, there's so many sides of Russ McKamey that I wish I could just spend hours and hours delving into.
Mhm.
But they all
He's a
lead back-
douchebag.
They all lead back to the same place. There's no,
Yeah.
you know, the only person that had anything good to say about Russ was Taryn. That
Yeah.
was it. But he's the only person in a honeymoon period with Russ
Yep.
at the moment.
Yep.
You see what I mean?
When Russ is done with him, he'll throw him away just like he does everybody else. Yep.
It's a spicy meatball, Fiona. It's a spicy meatball. I just want to say as well, if anybody's got any questions for Fiona or Chris, do let us know in the side chat. The late nights of this series have taken a toll on Mr. Swanson's ability to function throughout the day. So I'm going to be winding this down and ending this probably in the next 20 minutes. 1 o'clock in the morning is going to be the new cut-off for all streams. I can bring them back earlier and we can have longer streams. That's not an issue. It's just... yeah, I need to sleep. It turns out I'm only human and it sucks. So I need to sleep. But we are going to be starting a new series of streams next week. We've got a much more balance with the content that's coming out. The documentary will be out this weekend, and it's all very exciting. So if anybody has got any questions, I would like to just check now. Cap, how are you doing? What are you thinking about all of this? And Nicholas as well, thank you very much. Yeah, Cap, what you chime in on what you think. How are you feeling about the whole Russ McKamey saga, the whole thing? And Josh, I mean, obviously we know how you feel, but again, I think Cap and I are the ones that have come in at this just like total noobs and are just literally on the outside of all this looking in. So, I mean,
It's actually pretty interesting. I actually sent you something in Discord, by the way. It's, you know, if you look at the way from how people see it, from the dark tourism standpoint, or like the haunted art of the scare. I've watched both of them over and over and over, and there's little things that pop up, especially when you're watching how they act that out compared to where you actually look at some of the raw video that they're showing of the contestants. Like they want to show this one image to attract the people, but in another way, it seems like they're not truly giving them an eye into what they're actually getting involved in.
I'm just reading these DMs. You can't just tell me to go and read DMs and then
I'm sorry.
expect me to have any shit to say because I'm reading fucking DMs. Like, help a brother out here, Cap. I'm like halfway through this. And also as well, see when you screenshot a DM, right? I don't know how you've done this, right? But it's like I don't know how you've managed to do this, but the conversation, I don't even know.
It's a little mixed. I'm sorry. I tried. I really tried.
It's Shrek, y'all.
What's up, Shrek?
Oh, perfect.
What's up?
Hi, buddy.
Good to meet you finally, man.
Greg.
What's up, Josh? Hey, guys.
I'm trying to find the window. Where is it? There it is.
Man, you should have told them about you should have told these guys about some of the props you guys made for Old Rusty.
Tell him. I'll let him take over for now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
You know,
just
tell him about the Hubbard cupboard.
Yeah, we had built they called it the Hubbard cupboard. It was about a 35-gallon drum, I guess, and we cut the face of it open and put a screen across there and some chains on it, and it was a pretty cool looking prop. I think Russ has probably still got it, probably still using it.
I'm sure.
He didn't have much stuff at all, really.
No. A deep freezer full of nasty shit water.
Yeah.
Fake body parts.
Did you guys ever get to see like the insides of the storage containers or anything like that?
No, they were locked when we came. When we were dog sitting out there, but the barn was locked also. But you know, we had run of these little ditches in the back there and the rat cages. There was a couple other things along the wall of that barn. It was like almost like not really a hangman's thing, but it was something you'd hang somebody off of. It was high enough, probably hang them from a chain or
if they were blindfolded, they wouldn't know how high they were.
Yeah.
Because all of the crap that you see in the pictures now, he didn't have all that shit this time last year.
Yeah. We've touched on that.
He built all of that shit because of everybody blasting him last year, and he had to come up with something.
Yep, absolutely, and we were talking about that in the last, I think, 2 streams ago, where the media seemed to still be pushing the older footage. Do you know what I mean? Which is then fueling, like, once again, this false narrative of what the event actually is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep. That's anything we had seen on the news around Halloween was all the old footage, all of it. Nothing from Tennessee. Because there's nothing. I mean, it's all a bunch of bullshit.
See, actually, if you watch the dark tourism episode that he's involved in, the content, what is he? Nick Newton or Newman, the contestant he had there, and then also the host of dark tourism, didn't get past a few minutes. They literally just had the dunking and that was it.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, they didn't survive past that. And you could tell it felt very staged. So it just kind of shows that he went to them after and was like, look, I don't have much more. This is the best we're going to get.
Yeah.
Well, see, Greg ran camera for him. Well, one in particular was Lala's tour. And Trent can attest to this. The whole reason that her tour ended when it did, she could have gone on. But Trent called and said, I've got steaks I'm putting on the grill. It's time to eat. So Russ was done. He decided right there that her tour was over.
She was physically and mentally still good to go on that tour, and he talked her out of it because he wanted to
go eat
steak dinner.
God damn.
That
is
just
like,
you know what I mean? But
and I can actually follow up on that shit.
It. Yeah.
That's
like Lala actually went to Cata Silvis
and beat it.
Immediately beat it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but couldn't beat Russ.
She's
Savvy did the same thing. Savvy could have,
She's a tough cookie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Russ is just full of shit.
I tried. Maybe if somebody else tried.
I might try to talk to her because we were there at Russ's for her tour, you know, and I felt bad for her because I knew that he was fucking with her. You know, I knew that he was just fucking with her. So, yeah.
It's all good, man.
It's like a fucking cult, is what it is. It's a fucking cult, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
We
Sorry. I'm really sorry. Okay, so I guess I need to repeat all of that. No, I think we're okay as long as I'm talking now. I do apologize, everybody out there. I'm cutting between like 3 different screens, and I just need to make sure the mic's on on all of them. Yeah, they are. Okay, so questions. Anyone has any questions for anyone that's been on the panel this evening? Anyone who's watching that would like to come and join us as part of Tennessee, get in touch with Josh, get in touch with myself, to contact us on Discord or on one of the pages, one of the Facebook pages. I know Josh's page, which I can't remember the name of, which I'm just going to do this.
Truth or poopers.
Jesus Christ.
Ron, there was one more.
Yeah, shout out to Becky and Greg for all the hard work put in on the Facebook page, eh?
Yeah, I managed to slice the top of this off.
Jesus.
Wait, I managed to slice off all of like the branding part of. Oh shit! And I'm looking at the mouse that's on the page and not on here. And now I've opened this. I'm fucking it. All right, hang on.
I bet you go.
There we go.
Hi, Chris.
Mckamey Manor
Chris.
exposed. Truthers reborn. There we go. That's where you'll find Josh, and you'll be able to contact him if you are part of the Tennessee story. We want to hear from you guys, and don't miss out on being able to come before we move on to San Diego, because it's important, I think, as many people get hurt. Oh, there's True Love. Good son.
Hey,
What's
fucking
happening,
true.
son? What's
The
happening?
gang's all here.
What's up, Dan?
Hey,
Where's Frank? No, we need Frank.
giving you guys a bunch of shit.
Frank
What's
and
going
Frank.
What's going on?
It's all done.
So funny. What's happening, Dan?
Dan,
How
are you in a
how
special
doing
kind of
today?
mood tonight, bud?
Really?
No, I'm a bit more on the mild side tonight. I'm not so spicy like I was yesterday. I was all spiced up, ready to go yesterday.
Yeah, you were fired up, son. You were good. You were good to go yesterday, mate. You were cooked. Love it.
You know it's a good
Did-
night
did
when
you-
the lives
did
are popping off in multiple groups.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You shouldn't have came here, Dan.
What did I walk into? Oh my god.
It's funny. It's funny. Well, it's all good, but like I say, Dan, have you got anything you want to touch on? We're winding down, so last 10 minutes. Is there anything you want to kind of touch on with regards to Tennessee? Anything, Chris or Fiona, or anything anyone wants to say anything? For sure, let us know. But Dan, you got anything you want to touch on?
No, I just really think Russ is hanging on by, a thread now. I think he's just really just trying to swim to the surface, trying to catch some air. And he's trying to grasp onto whatever he can, and it's I don't think he's gonna really grab onto anything. So I think what we're doing here in these podcasts are effectively and efficiently working. And
Slowly but surely. Yep.
I think we just need to keep fighting the good fight and doing what we're doing and getting everybody's story out there. And like you said, it's a crazy ass jigsaw puzzle, but you are putting the pieces together, sir. So you keep up the good work.
Yeah, sorry, my mic was off again. Yeah, I might be putting the pieces together, but I'm putting them together like a 4-year-old who's taking two pieces that don't fit and just pushing them, just smashing them together. Like I'm really trying. So I appreciate that. But like I say, anyone else who wants to sort of fire any questions, we're just going to wind down because we're going to start a new streaming. Sorry, on you go, Chris.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to interrupt. There was just one thing I forgot to say, and this played a major role in what actually made me. I didn't get kicked out of the MM group. I left willingly. And the big problem with a lot of people in that group is I started asking questions, and that's what Russ does not want. I think everybody that's in this group right here that's live right now can back that up. If you start asking any kind of questions at all, Russ gets so fucking offended and he gets pissed and he just immediately blocks you. And that was one big problem.
It's like a cult.
Dude, it's just like a cult. Just like a fucking cult. They would back him up. He could shoot someone on live stream and they would be like, "Oh, poor Russ, poor Russ."
They would justify it. Yep.
They damn sure would.
Yeah.
You know, it's something Becky and I have been watched this Scientology show, the Leah Remini program, and we have been really interested in the Scientology and the cult stuff, and had studied it and stuff. And when we got into this, it was like, man, this is kind of really cultish. You know what I mean? And we knew it was, and we were just kind of playing along with it. You know what I mean? And but it's amazing how it can suck you in.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting.
I wouldn't say we fell for it, but we played with it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it
was interesting.
That's why we're all here.
You don't get a chance to run into a cult very often. You know what I mean? And we wanted to play with it a little bit.
Well, absolutely. It's interesting you mentioned Scientology because our next live series is Unmasking Scientology, and we've got a few high-level Scientology members coming on, and once we've
we got somebody we can hook you up with then.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
We know a few people. Yeah.
So, we've got a few somebody that was a producer on that program. Actually,
nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's our next sort of community mission.
But
we're nowhere near done with Mckamey Manor. I'm just giving you all a little taster of what's going to come next. Oh my god, the mic is falling off the table. There we go. So yeah, hang on a minute. Let me just go back to the chat here. Cap, have you got any questions, anything like that that's been fired by the side chat? I totally lost track of the side chat. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, me too. I was doing some stuff that's been handed to me. So,
I got something I can put out there. Like,
you say that again, True Love?
Sorry.
Oh well, I just don't think we talked about it tonight. I think after last night, Taryn ended up leaving Mckamey Manor, and he dropped out. And I think within a couple of hours or the next day, he ended up rejoining. But I talked with him a little bit after the feed yesterday, and he was just really sincere about Lindsay's story and how much it affected him and how much he felt bad about it. And I just was confused a little bit on what his standpoint was and why he decided to go back, why he dropped out and why he decided to join back in with the group. So that's a little interesting. So I wouldn't mind getting him back on and
we can definitely we may even arrange something on Discord. We can do a Q&A session on Discord or some shit as well. But yeah, listen, thank you. I think everyone this evening that we've had on have put some new perspectives out there, especially Fiona, and I can't wait to talk to you guys more. There's definitely stuff for the up and coming videos that I want you guys to be involved with, and we'll discuss some of the other things in the DMs and get them showcased as well. So, Josh, have you got anything you want to close with on this this particular evening?
Shit. I guess not really. It's kind of all really came out now at this point.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same. Cap, same question. You got anything you want to close with, or anything you're wanting to put forward?
No, I'm still doing my digging.
Follow Cap on Instagram. That's it right there. He needs friends. So everyone add him on Instagram. So listen, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be back again. Please do check out the Mckamey Manor Exposed Truthers Reborn. Try not let the Facebook header give you nightmares. And oh shit, no one wants to see
that's
that.
a custom image, bro. Don't shit on my shit.
But yeah, thank you everybody. Thank you to the guests. Thank you to everybody out in the side chat. Thank you to the admins and the mods. And I will see you all possibly tomorrow night, and we'll just keep this rolling. One more night, Tennessee. Well, then we'll jump straight into San Diego, and we'll wrap. We'll wrap up what we feel is our best effort to tell all this in a time frame that's manageable, I guess. But it's just more it just gets more and more and more interesting. Taco Tuesdays, like that is
Taco Tuesdays. Yep.
like it's just a crazy thought process. Everyone sitting around Russ's table, laughing, smiling, eating tacos.
Eating tacos, eating steak. Mm-hmm. Just a normal old guy. Yeah.
Just a normal dude. Just a normal dude.
Yeah. Psycho fucker.
Okay. That's why we love her right there.
Oh god. Okay. So I'm swallowing my own hair now.
I love y'all too.
Yeah.
We do. See, that's one good thing that we've gotten out of all this bullshit with Russ. We've got a whole new batch of family and friends.
Yeah,
so it was worth it in the end.
That's a great way of looking at it for sure. And I just want to say thank you once again for everyone coming on, and I'll see you all in the next one. So thank you guys, and thanks everyone out in the side chat. We'll see you all the next time. Cheers.
Bye, y'all.